I'm Cooper Osborne, and this is Accelerate to Stop Golf. It's a very old way to learn effective golf swings, especially golf swings that don't put much stress on the body. I devised this system to combat what I think is a modern trend in golf, where a lot of experts are claiming that the golf swing is tough on the spine. And then a lot of my peers, golf pros, are teaching people to use their core muscles. And if you use your core muscles, you probably will hurt yourself, because core muscles are designed to keep you upright and balanced while you use your arms and legs. So first of all, Accelerate to Stop Golf is devised to get you to use your arms and legs in a moderate and what I call elastic manner. It's not much different than the elasticity and moderation you feel when you're pushing a child on a swing over and over again. You're shooting a free throw. So first of all, there should be no fear of injury. When I was raised in the game of golf, doctors would say if you can't play tennis anymore, to take up golf because it's so easy. But now they're claiming, your hips and joints and low back can really suffer because of all this twisting of the spine. Well, ideally the spine doesn't twist, and if you stick with me, we'll go over that. But the system really requires you to only learn to draw body parts back and then have them change directions with a flexing of body parts, mainly your dominant arm, both wrists, and your knees, and your feet too, your ankles. So you draw the system back, flex as you change direction, and then literally catapult the system to a stretched stop. And since we hang on to what we're really catapulting, if our arms are elastic and fluid, our swing will retract to a very relaxed stop. And injured pitchers are now learning to do the same thing. They draw the arm and ball back and then change directions and flex and then catapult that arm to a stretch stop without letting go of the ball. That's easier on the body. And many of you know how to do these things already. If you have one of these chuckets that you put a tennis ball in a tool, you can learn to draw it back, accelerate it to a stretch stop. You will do that by drawing it back as you change directions, flex, and then catapult to that stretch stop. The ball will keep going after the stop. And boy, it was easy to throw that thing 50 yards without feeling a lot of stress. Lacrosse is similar. You have a ball that's semi-attached to this basket, and you accelerate your body parts from that stick to a stop, and the ball takes on the speed of the object that just stopped. Well, golf is probably most like long pole casting, where you see the practitioner let out some line, a certain amount. They practice with a metal plug on the end of the line. They put their thumb on the reel, on the line, so that it can't, the line stays the same length. Then they might lower the pole from horizontal down, and then start changing direction by flexing and then extending or catapulting the system to a very stretched stop. They time the thumb letting go of the line right at the stop. And then they hold that pose until the line hits the water, and then they have to punch the line again with their thumb to stop the line. And if they get good, they can start moving the line forward and backwards and forwards and backwards. And then while the line's going that way, they can flex to change directions and then really catapult that system to a stretch stop. And that line may go up to 300 meters, so they're holding that stop for a long time until the plug hits the water before they stop it. And you'll see their pole flex too. Very much like golf. The big difference in golf, however, is that the tip of the system would hit something before the stretch stop. Just like this rope will, and I can draw this back like a fishing line. And then as I change directions, flex, and then catapult it to a stretched stop. But it'll run into something before the stretch stop is reached. So the ball gets in the way. You've heard that before probably. And now the golf shaft will flex and reverse to help you get energy too. So it's all about catapulting something by drawing it back, flexing, and then catapulting to a stretch stop. You've done it with water when you don't want to drink it anymore, but you want to get rid of it without getting rid of the mug. You'll draw it back, flex as you change directions, and catapult it to a stop. Now you need to be so elastic that in golf you can catapult this to a stop and hold the stop, but usually you're so elastic that and holding on to it that it retracts back to a rested stop. And that makes golf even easier than any other sport. So we're going to learn to grip the club really well and learn that the left arm and the club are what you're going to draw back and then flex against and catapult to this stretched end. And it starts with the grip, which is on page 2 of my website, and then it starts with a good stance so you can draw it back, flex, and catapult to that stretched accelerated stop. There are a lot of different ways to draw it back, but not many different ways to then flex and catapult it to the stop. So you'll see a lot of differences in your pros, and there are different ways to grip it too, but there is a best way based on Harry Barton. And Ben Hogan wrote 19 pages on it. It's your most detailed aspect, so really get the good grip. It may be a little different than you've heard before, but get that elasticity we need and realize that if you use your arms and legs to catapult this system to a very fluid accelerated stop and then a retraction, you can play for years very well without any fear of injury. Thank you.